Hey everyone, I'm Tassinix, and welcome to Plotting and Scheming. This is covering Season 51, 5 versus 5 Grand Arena Championship. Um, let's see. Week 1 for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I'm joined here by my co-hosts Dagger, TJ, and Sasha Isha. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing great, Tess.
Oh, good. I'm glad I got the mic unmuted and everything. That's good.
Recovering, and fully apologizing to my third round opponent for hijacking that win.
Oh, yeah? I mean, we always usually cover this here in the first minute. What was you guys' first, week record? What'd you guys do?
2-1.
2-1. Right?
An undeserved 2-1. I should have been 1-2.
Okay.
I hijacked it complete.
Yeah. Scandalous bastard.
I played one round. I went 2-1 and played one round. That's
see,
sort of like
nice.
what TJ's saying.
Wow.
No, I played like shit, and we'll just fess up to where it was at. Bad decisions. Of course, you don't need much, and I still pulled it away because of ships. Like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It
Sasha, lay it on
went
us.
2-1. 2-1. I had one dropped match, but hit 3 real good opponents. What's fascinating is I have yet to draw one of those bizarre accounts that made the leap up to Kyber 1. I've not had one the entire time.
Wow, that is really quite bizarre.
Yeah, where the hell's my account at? I want me some free stuff.
Yeah. I was like, I would love one free win.
Wouldn't that be cool? It's like everybody hears about it, but I don't see that shit.
I've had them a bunch.
I don't want free wins every round, mind you. Just like, can I get one? Like Taz said that.
Dude, like,
Taz said that was like,
wouldn't it be cool to have like a free
weeks
Friday or something like that? Dude, can we just get like,
Yeah,
hey, it's a
that's what
busy
they-
work day. I don't want to play right now, so let me just get my win. Where's my dubs?
No, I
Yeah, Taz
definitely had
Taz
2 weeks
back-to-back
last
weeks
season.
where he fought like Taz had back-to-back weeks where he fought like Aesop into Erodium accounts. Like, I just want a week like that because hell, my real life prevents me from playing like once a week already, anyways. Right?
So, gentlemen, let's get underway. What worked? All right. What worked this week? What actually, pulled out in the clutch? All right, let's start with Dagger, since he only played 1 round. Let's hear about it.
Well, one of them was a test one where my opponent gave me the win, but we
See,
we
now
had a
there's
test score the last time we
qualifications
did this
for
too,
it.
so- Yeah. So it was basically like, so I got to try out some stuff. Maul Mando's doesn't really punch up as high as I thought. That's what I learned this week. Maul Mando's is good, but it doesn't really do anything that it didn't do before, unfortunately. And I have Gar and ISC R8 and kitted out this week.
Now, given that you and I
before the week.
Given that you and I had that recent, conversation again about the different ways one mods Maul, given what you learned this week, does that change how you think you want to go into week 2 with his modding?
I want to change the mods on Gar and ISC first to make them more offense heavy before I decide on Maul.
Okay, all right, that's
Because
fair.
the tenacity just hasn't mattered. Right,
okay.
every time I've tried them against Gas in Arena or Gak, it's like Gas. The only turn Gas gets is when he stands back up. So
That's
I don't know
true.
what the tenacity does. And he put both my guys into DI when he stands back up and then dies himself.
God, it's such a fun fight. It's such a fun fight. Really satisfying fight.
Yeah, so I don't think the tenacity is necessary. I'd rather stack more offense on. And then based on that, seeing if them with more damage can make the team punch up higher against GLs, maybe.
Okay.
Right, if that raises their ceiling. Anyway, we can talk more about this during the takeaways or whatever. But yeah, so Maul Mando's didn't work on Leia or JMK.
I mean, I think it worked against JMK for Cal this week. Calvin Awesome. I think he did pull that off.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that they can't work. I'm just saying it didn't.
Yeah. Worked out.
But what did work was, TJ's favorite version of Gap, where you just take in a team, and that's led by a GL against a team that does not have a GL on it, and you 65.
Yep.
That's it. That's what worked. Everything else falls into the other category. But nothing surprising for me, at least.
All right, fair enough. TJ, how about you?
I'm gonna lead with the big one because of the week I was having. With
You better
either
not
just
take
making
my. You better not steal my thunder. But all right, let's hear it.
Nah, fuck your thunder. I'm talking about what a stop do. I'm starting to push my ceiling on what GG stop does, and right now
you mean step, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Zori got plunged, and I'm talking. I wish I would have recorded it. It was once B2 gets in there to clear everything off, they stop, and they just even the pushing back into it, right? Because stop was taking a little bit of damage. Once B2 kicked in, and then the Terminator just looped them.
Yeah.
They took one turn and then stopped.
Beautiful.
So I am up to Zori right now.
Would you say they snapped?
I would say snapped. They were 100% snapped.
There we go.
Super long. But no, it felt really good to the point where I want to see where else we can go because that bonus turn is very convincing. And this was with this was what I would consider a proper Zori team. It was well modded, but that bonus turn getting to go, and then your B2 kicks in, and then, man, it feels great. It felt super strong. The doubt plays a great part of it right now, so we'll see what it does without the doubt, but we can get higher. I think seeing that in action and being able to play with that, I felt good.
Nice. Very nice.
The other one I'm playing with, and just because I was basically screwed over, was it's weird, but solo SLK does just fine on a full Qui-Gon Jinn with all the goodies. It just fun for full banners, so it was good too.
What a surprise!
Yeah. Oh, surprises everybody.
After one,
other than that, man, there's nothing surprising. Everything else we would do is just overkills. JML feels like the strong counter for what it is. I watched you do it, and it took it in, and it stayed that way all week.
JML on what, TJ?
Oh,
I'll cover it in a minute. Man. Damn it.
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll let him do it. But I made it better. So I watched Tass do it, and I made it better.
Okay.
Because I was getting full banners. I watched you start, and then I finished it because yours looked like shit. No trap.
This man having the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah. No,
this son of a
Tass
bitch.
gets his thunder. So Tass, you take your thunder.
This
on
guy
it,
right. Well, no, we'll get to me last, but I want to hear Sasha Isha's greatest, greatest attacks. What worked out?
So, what worked? I think three things that we haven't touched on that were kind of nice. One was it was actually sort of a continuation or a pullover from threes, and that's Malgus against DTMG. Shit, velvety smooth, most of the time a sufficient regen, despite Doubtcrons being on every one of the DTMG squads I faced.
Now, did you use proper Malgus lead? Did you use proper Malgus lead, or were you doing the DR thing with Malgus on the side?
No, Malgus lead. I've seen a few. I have not tried personally, but I've seen a few DR leads, and I understand it can accelerate the process because you get to trigger death mark on him. But I have just found that if you just do Malgus lead, it takes a bit, but you've got a lot of regen. And the fact that it takes a little bit longer actually is helpful from a bound and recovery perspective because you've got a ton of protection regen. And so, I think I tried that. I used that 3 times, and I think I got 2 65s and a 64.
One additional
what
that I made.
Yeah.
So on top of that, I used Malgus for various things this week. It's like Seer, DTMG. Did not use Malik at all. Saved him for C.
Yeah.
So to what Sasha's saying, I did it with Set, as my favorite.
Yeah, I was tempted to do that. That's good to hear, Dagger, because it is really nice to be able to have Malik with C. It makes C, defensively viable. It's just
not as relevant this
True. Yeah, the world is changing. The Sith universe is, but so that was one. Malgus really comfortable. Then the next. Was I faced I hadn't seen one of these in a while, but just like an old school CLS squad with a nice set 13 cron and used Tuskens really smoothly for a 65 there.
Nice.
That was nice. Just so I didn't set Tuskens because I just felt like we have a lot of defensive options, and it's hard to get anything close to a hold these days, so I felt like they fell below the bar, but they were useful against CLS on offense. And then the last thing I'll just call out is I almost forget about him, but Bad Batch in all 3 of my matches, Bad Batch found a matchup and were like clean 65s. And what I would call out there is I really like my experience, at least with Bad Batch, as long as you're cautious about the timeout mechanics with like a nest or something like that, that survivability ends up being sort of the critical element. And the Set 13 light side protection up is wonderful. Like I faced, yeah, doesn't it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you've got like a number of like kind of ass saving maneuvers that come out there, and so that worked well. Yeah, it was like I think 365s with Bad Batch.
Yup. Absolutely agree. All right. Well, I mean, for my part, yeah. So, cat's out of the bag. So, round 1 did JML versus DTMG. So, just trying to extrapolate out what was successful in 3s there. Decided to go with pretty expensive composition with Jedi Cal, JKR. I want to say notably not JKL, I think. Hoda, Grandmaster and Hoda, something like that.
You did Grandmaster Hoda. You did no JKL.
Yeah,
so that was the swap.
Yeah. So let me say, I mean, it was rough. I think we had only 3 Jedi standing at the end of it. But what the critical difference is, I mean, you are using Jedi Cal in the end to just smite DTMG. So instead of just bullying him down with coins, I mean, you'll still try and control his cooldowns as much as possible. To that end, I did take the potency set 12 again. That was successful in 3v3, and that was was great. I mean, it helped stretch the fight out, and that was what we needed to get it done. So TJ, where did you build on that?
So the one thing I'll swap you is, and I think I'm gonna experiment further. So Cal is a great luxury to have. JKL is what just locks, it just linchpins the whole fight. Once they are stunned, you just get to finish off the DTMG at your own leisure, and then you finish the team. Yeah, they're going to go back to full health, but I honestly do believe we don't need the Jedi Cal. I think that's why I'm going to see how far I can push the team, but because of that, as long as you can get the ability block, let's put it this way, right? That potency check, you want to have it there, so that does play a part of it.
Yeah.
But getting it over to JKL for the stun, and then you just coin. Well, there's no more DTMG. Well, there goes the team. It is basically just money makers. So that's why I said adding the Jedi Cal or the JKL makes that fight just easy, like nothing.
The potency also makes a lot of sense for JML's second.
Why do you say that? Because I thought all that stuff was unresistible, off the top of my head.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, then whoosh goes your joke.
Your point was super solid in wanting to make sure that you get the ability block. You need that ability block in the break, but
you get to do it twice in the fight, right? So you want it to work.
Right. So your fight went much longer. Mine was at I was at 3.5 minutes still remaining, or even 3 or something like that, and everybody was still dead. Nice. I played it badly and was at 3 and got a 62 or something like that. But the other one,
so you did just kind of use the 3v3 strategy and just bullied through DTMG with coins.
That's exactly what you're doing. That's why I said Cal makes it nice in that you get to pass it around, regardless of the doubt and all that. He don't care. And the fact that you get, so it feels easy, but I don't think you need it. You probably just take a less banners, but that gives you a Jedi Cal for another team.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that makes sense because when you stun them, they cycle through their turn, and that allows the 400% offense to kick in. Because at the beginning of their first turn, they turn their defense into offense.
So yeah,
having like Luke there to make sure that opening salvo does not happen is really nice.
And you don't feel it. And you really don't feel anything like that throughout the fight. Like, I never felt close. My team was never like that. So it just took your one step and just brings it along. But I think we can make this a really skimpy team, and it's just with the coin. So taking your strategy or taking the coin strategy and it just plummets. But I think you do need JKL as that deterrent to just lock it down.
That's an interesting value buy. I'll keep that in mind. Other interesting-ish, successful attacks here this week. So against the Dashquil IG-11 Hondo Vandor, taking in Tuskens, it was super rough, but we did get the kill with Tuskens third on Vandor. It brought my 2 dead, like immediately dead Tusken allies back, and we ended up finishing that one for a 62. Like Dagger said, Malgus was great. I used him almost exclusively on Sears this week. However, I will say that there were at least 2 of those fights where having Malik on the team was really helpful, both for a timely dispel of a taunt and for when the when there was an open shot on Malikos. He was there with the drain, and that sewed that up. We didn't have to muscle through him or anything. So I'm sure it's not necessary, but boy, it was timely. So I will say that. Let's see. Yeah, like Sasha was saying, Bad Batch with Product was great when I realized to my horror against Pariah's Qui-Gon in round 2 that my Echo was slower than his JKA. So we knew that we were going to take the Kapow up front, and boy, did they all just take it like a champ. It was fantastic. We had it sewn up in seconds for 65. And then the rest of it was pretty standard. We did do our first GAR ISC of the season. Threw in Piet at the advice of Randy, and it was pretty good. I think it was pretty helpful. It was a stacking offense set 12 crown with high armor pen that was on that gas, so no potency. No Krex.
Yeah, the Piet did feel largely unnecessary watching the fight.
And it actually felt somewhat detrimental, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, as Dagger was just alluding to here, so bringing in Piet was cool, but between the offense stack from their level 3 on the Kron and the fact that every time we are gaining buffs, of which Emperor's Trap does count, so Piet feeding Emperor's Trap all around, and then, his offense up buff and blah, 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 blah. So many buffs flying around on your team. We just annihilated everybody until Gas stood back up, looked Piet in the eye, and sent him to the Nether Realm. He was just gone. All right. I think we actually had a DI triggered, too, on one of the 2, if not both. I think it was ISC. But it was impressive that they still, just brapped him right down, and it was, what was it? It was a 63 with Piet gone. So, that's all right. That's all right. Okay, guys, segment 2. Let's get into the bloodbath. What didn't work? All right, Dagger, let's hear it. Where did you impale yourself?
Man. Yeah, so the trying Maul sucked. He doesn't feel very good. Might try again next week. We'll see. JML against anything where it's not like kicking a toddler also feels bad.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was doing a gag for one of my buddies. I know it's not my account. And I timed out against JMK with JML. Man, the team just does not feel good right now.
Yeah.
And that was just with the prod up, right? The prod up was just like, it just takes too long to kill things.
And with the kind of health
and
that
we're
you
missing
bake in-
protection, off the DCs.
Yeah, and I mean, you've with the amount of health that you naturally have baked in through your primary choices and stuff like that on the JMK team, man, that's just going to be brawny amounts of product.
And I lost to a Lord Vader with JML.
Ooh, man, that is outright offensive. That is offensive.
Yeah, the stacking offense level 6 just absolutely, no pun intended, crushed my sides.
Jeez. All right. Anything else you want to feature?
Oh, I mean, I just wanted to highlight how bad JML has felt this season. Other than that, I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't. Lord Vader. I know you had success with Lord Vader Maul plus Thrawn in one of your fights.
Yeah.
As an Underman, but outside of soloing a gas Krex, I'm not finding great places to use Lord Vader. So I might try doing like Lord Vader Maul on like JMKs or something like that. Jabba's, I don't know. Trying to
I'll
find
tell
a
you
good
what, it
use
is
for,
nice
like,
having
Lord-
him for Jabba because that was a pretty smooth fight, I gotta say.
Oh yeah, but you get what I'm saying. It's failing with these GLs versus other things that I feel like they should beat has just been the bane of my week.
The Bane.
Um,
We'll get
yeah, yeah. You see what
we'll
I did
get to
there?
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, we'll have that as a bonus
No
segment.
doubt about it.
We'll have that. We'll
No
have that.
doubt
Oh, I
about
see
it.
you, TJ. Nah,
I'd
we'll
like
have.
to apologize to our audience.
Oh,
I'll,
man,
Go ahead.
I'll pass the mic.
man. All right. Yeah, but we'll cover Bane
All right.
here. We'll have that as a special PSA at the end because I know everybody's going to be curious. For all the folks at home, catching this on YouTube, today is Unlock Day for Darth Bane, so everybody's just dusting him off. Let's see what he can do.
It's fucking Christmas and Swiggo!
The early testing is positive, but we will cover some interesting little thoughts here later at the toward the end of the video. All right, let's pivot to TJ now. What didn't work? Where did you face plant in the mud?
All right, so we're gonna go. TJ felt like shit this week, so we're gonna go off the side of trying. We're gonna go off the side of trying, and then shit where it's just like, oh my god, I'm so dumb for even trying this. All right, so we'll go with the first one. C, not next week or not coming up this week, baby, but C. Trying it on Riva. I just thinking of threes, not putting in the context of fives. I took what I would call a good team. So I took C, Watt, Set, and Malik. I took like good quality people with the doubt, thinking that'll hold long enough. Nope. They beat the hell out of me. Wasn't even close. Nobody dead on Riva. Felt real bad to the point where Heinze, we were doing a stream with Heinze, and he was calling out that. I was like, man, I don't think you want to go there because she's just super powerful. We'll see where it's at, and that's more to come on that one. But C hurt my feelings. The next one, C on JMK. Again, just not feeling well, thinking I guess it should be fine. And of course, so it was C Watt, Armor. I took was it GBA, and I took I think Piggy or something like that. No, Set or something. So I tried to take in. So I had all these pressures out. It didn't matter, man. I didn't get to the third stack on Armor, so they went under health. So I was left with JMK, Snips, and Padme. Now we get into the guts of it, where I can't deny it because it's going to be out there on GAC. So, I also failed on, and I talked to Dagger and Tass about this. I failed Afra on Chase with Saw Chase, and I'll probably say that's probably the misplay that did it, or I took too long, or something else, or not having the right like triangle. Fully can own up to it, where I just played it badly, and I'm okay with that, or bad luck, whatever. So each time I decided, man, you know what? Let's try Ewoks. No, JFK Ewoks. No, they don't want to do that. They don't like that, and JMK just walked through that team. Tried JMK, or I tried Ewoks and something else, and it was just bad. Just felt bad. Oh, no, it was Ewoks on a partial team of Saw Chase, and that made that into a 3-shot because that was just bad as well. The best dum-dum, and that's why I call it, because it'll be there. Decided to do Mon Mothma with Biggs on a Terminator Loop team, right? Be great. Against Trench with Watt. What it did not account for is I needed to get in front of the stealth going. I did not get in front of the stealth.
Wow.
So it was basically I had to back out. So I'll take my dum-dum of it. It's like, yeah, you're going to loop them if you get in front of it. But if you don't get in front of them.
So you were just stuck there smacking
it was
Django
on Django.
like an asshole.
It was on Django, and I was like, you fucking idiot. And the reason it's so dumb is I had Star Killer.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
But this was also the time, like I said, when I got to try GG Stop or GG Stab on the Zori, because I was like, I'm gonna lose anyway. So yeah, those are my dummies. But this week is gonna be a big difference. So
man, I'm so riveted for this week. All right, Sasha, where did the road get bumpy for you here?
Yeah, I actually I think kind of will continue the theme of JML disappointment. In that I dropped twice with JML against Saw turret based squads, and it was part of the ripple effect that and I had a loss against Renee in the first round, and that was on the front bottom, and it just kind of it it had a cascading impact on my attack plan. But I was talking to Renee and Brock about it after actually, and Brock was saying, you know what, just I had started. I took, and this was not a cheap Jedi squad that I took against it. It was like JML, JKL. I think I had Cal, but I had JKR there in case even if JML gets lit up, he gets revived. I had HY. And in the first attempt, the JML goes first, and I coined to JKR with that I'll then swap over to JKL and stun everybody. And I went in feeling all smart about it, coined to JKR. 15 seconds after I hit that, my JML had died twice, and there were just bits of Jedi all over the place.
Oh my God.
So that went wrong. And it was honestly, for me, I happened to really just like big Rogue One fan, thought that Stuart Bay's characters were pretty cool. It was, part of me really enjoyed it, even though it was my Jedi dying all over the screen. But I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool to see. But when I talked to those guys afterwards, and Brock's like, no, do efflux. That's the way to do it. Because granted, efflux does, as he pointed out, it gives 15% turn meter to your entire squad. So the other squad, I was a little anxious about doing it and getting the heal over times up everywhere with crits and everything. But he's right; it was a good call. So I went into my next round, which was against Marco Ragnos, also really good player, strong account. I'm like, oh, cool. All right, I've got a chance at redemption. I went into the same composition, except I think this time I'm sure I brought in Jedi Knight Cal. So it's like cream of the crop of Jedi. So I go efflux. This time it was probably 20 seconds later, all my Jedi were dead. So that didn't go well. It was just, I don't know exactly what transpired, but I could never
twice.
get. Anyway, lesson learned. The third one, I went Afra against Saw Turret. And, maybe a little less of me roots for Saw Turret on the other side these days, now that I've seen enough. But yeah, that was learning. Then the other learning I had, I guess there's probably a third theme out of this, but the second learning I had is Reva's rough, man. Like, if you don't have the right counters, I dropped two battles, or twice, in two different matches I dropped against an Inquisitor squad, and I think I'll just need to be a little bit more prepared for it going into the next round, but they're really impressive with these Empire Crons right now. Yeah. So they're really good. The third takeaway is that it takes me sort of running into a brick wall at least 2 times before I learned my lesson. That's apparent too. So,
I've done the same thing. I did it last season, testing something. I forget what it was, but I was obstinate about trying to make it work, and it ain't work.
Yeah, obstinate's the right word. You got it, man. So those were my big did not work.
All right, fair enough. For my own part, in round 1, against a Gas Krex team with Echo on it, I wanted to see, if GG Step would do something, and I'm here to tell you, there's probably a different sequence in which I could have ordered those abilities, but I don't think any god saves you from that Echo grenade, and then you just kind of just sit there and wait for the coming of the end. So I wouldn't recommend the experience. Let's see. We had
something about an ability that stuns all droids is problematic there.
It is. And it can be resisted, I think, something like that. But it's a pretty tall, I think it's a pretty tall order. It's pretty easy to stack potency on Echoes, I recall. Anyway, it's one of those things where I did up my tenacity on Magna Guard for this week, because if I should have a similar ambition, it only requires that he is able to go. Now, granted, If he's able, if his first turn is after they've gotten to do their opener, then that means that cooldowns very well could be pushed back. But again, you're still hoping on the tenacity to do something there. So it all depends on the
just poor luck,
cron.
though.
Sorry?
That's just poor luck because Echo's base tenacity is like 40%, and B1's giving out 50% tenacity.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say?
That's just bad luck.
Yeah, it's a sample size of 1. I wasn't eager to try it again for the week because we all know what the consequences.
No. It's the correct tenacity down. That's what it is. Your tenacity won't matter.
I think the Crex is definitely out. Yeah, I think you got me there.
Yeah.
So very fair.
So just now parsing out like what happened. Yeah, against Crex it's a no because of 10 down.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Against Finzori, Tuskens was very highly rated last season, and this was using a set 12 cron on that Finzori team, so it was an apples to apples comparison there, comparing with the old last month data. Man, they just brat me into non-existence. I would not recommend it. What was it? It says C.
Wait, did you say Zori versus Tuskens?
No, Tuskens versus Zori.
Okay.
Yeah, because that did not work.
Yeah, it depends on who they attack, but yeah, I mean,
yeah, it did not work.
Unless they go Zori, you're.
Yeah, I mean, it says that it worked last season, and I believe it because a good number of people had success with it, but not me. JMK, I ended up attempting going against it with C and Armor and a few other Sith, and that did not work. Actually, no, I didn't have Armor. I had Watt, and so I had to run with Health Tech. I didn't have Armor available because we used Armor with Slacker to kill Leia that round. So yeah, it shouldn't surprise you, but an under-resourced C did not do great. God, this next week is going to be wild because you're not going to be doing no Watt with C no more. Let's see. Any other? No, we had a really clean attack on round 3, so no drops. All right, guys. Standout defenses? Is that where we're at? I think so. Dagger. Who held the line?
Qui-Gon and Seer, as always.
Nice.
Man, I keep wanting to take Seer off defense, and then she just holds every round.
She's good.
Who are you setting her with, Dagger? I mean, there are so many UFU options these days.
Oh, it's just like the old stock, like it's Crew, Malicos, Fulcrum, and Cal.
And your Cal, okay.
And you're always rocking Doubt Crown.
Armor Pen, set 12.
Set 12 Armor Pen. Okay, yeah, that's what I've run a few rounds.
Interesting.
Dark side offense stacking Armor Pen.
Yeah. Very good. That is what I've run a couple of rounds. I see the Doubt everywhere, and I don't think it's a terrible way to go. But yeah, I think if you have that Armor Pen, a decent stack of Armor Pen on a set 12, and then with a Dark Side stacking offense, yeah, that is potent.
Honestly, I will say this for it really quick. Like, putting Doubt on that team is probably good in a vacuum, but when you're looking at the teams your opponents are using to take it out, Freya, the Malgus, none of these teams really care that much about Doubt. They don't gain that much turn meter, right? Like, they don't, gain that many buffs. And that was kind of my thought process going in. Is this week, this month specifically, because we're in such a we beat this dead horse, right? We're playing the efficiency game, so it's like, what cron can I put on to best frustrate things my opponent will use against this team? It's not about maximizing the strength of my team anymore. It's about trying to have counterplay.
That's right.
See, but,
and I think that's one of the reasons.
I think you have to add one piece to it. No, but I think your point is super solid because you're adding 3 light side characters to 2 dark side. What's the point of only the 2 that really aren't going to take the factor of Doubt to make it work, right? So that's even another added thing. Whereas doing that dark side damage makes a whole ton of sense because you're looking at the others, and then Malicos just ramping up to just delete you is ultimately just a way better call. The only reason I even took that was because I was doing 3 characters. So I had 3 dark side characters, but for you, Dagger, I think you're 100% on point.
Yeah, and then the Qui-Gon for the same reasons. It's Qui-Gon with 70% crit damage and product.
Yeah,
Right.
that's pretty nice. That's a nice cron.
Make
Wow.
Anakin take more turns. Right. It frustrates things like Bad Batch a little bit more. GG is a decent counter to the Qui-Gon Beck. Right. Like so again, it's basically the two teams I put a lot of effort into making a spoiler. The two teams I put a lot of effort into making a cron specifically for them. News at 10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who knew?
Any others you wanted to cover?
I mean, spot holds here or there, like Lord Vader in the back held against the guy who didn't have bow.
Mm-hmm.
Right, just
Okay, yeah, nothing really stand out. That's fair. TJ, how about you? Who are your rock stars?
It's gonna be minimal, man. I don't think we're living in a defense meta, right?
Do I know that feeling?
Yeah, I had a couple holds. I had a good bow hold. We fought our guildmate Infinum, so he got to stream it. So we actually got to watch the hold.
I did watch some
bow.
of that. Yeah,
bow held pretty solid, man. That was some good stuff. Getting to watch it in action and seeing how it was working out. That is so easily like you don't take in enough on that team, and man, do you just get pummeled. And it was like, that was one of my saviors, as Dagger said, Seer, but I think that was more, and I think Infinite was testing. I'm not going to call it like, oh, I got him or anything like that, but Infinite was trying to test something and it didn't go his way. So Seer did hold, which was great. And then my star, again, saved my ass, where you don't think it's going to do, Levi. I won the Levi toss for RNG, and Levi got me my win for round 3. So again, I completely hijacked it. I call it a steal. I don't call that a well-earned win or anything like that. Shout out to RN Polo. She should have had it. I did not deserve or earn it, but I did get it.
Very good.
So that was
Very good. All right, Sasha, how about you? Who stood out? Got the job done.
Yeah, there's 3 worth calling out, I'd say. So one was Seer, and another was a Ray squad. And that's kind of the reason that I asked the question about the UFU comp that you were using, Dagger, is like I found like the Seer Malico squad, like it occasionally catches bodies. It's got to be taken pretty seriously. And I the ATF, I throw Crew and Malicos. In the 5th, what I've actually been using is CLS, and I've done the Doubtcron, although I really like that idea, particularly as long as Crew is in there, of the dark side set 12 to dispellable buffs, leaving 5% offense. I can see that stacking nicely, but anyway, that's worked well for me. And the reason, though, that I don't set Cal with it, because it's way more robust as a squad if it's got Cal, but is I've been putting Cal with Ray, and that's been helpful. I got a hold against old guildmate and friend Lord Cedric in round 3 this week, and it was Cal that he was saying timed him out on that.
Now is that because you scouted him out and saw that he was going to try and do Seer, and you just wanted to jam that up specifically, or what do you think he took against you there? And it
well, I know in that case, Cedric took Seer Malicos, and that definitely can foil Seer Malicos. That's what happened when I went against yours, if I recall. That's probably the first time I learned that lesson. Was maybe it was, I don't remember if it was against yours or if like we had talked about a test.
It sounds like something I do.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Well, also Cal Zaris GK is also a good frustration to Leia.
That is nice.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. And
it takes them longer.
Leia, but that's the comp. That's exactly the comp, Dagger, that I had set. So that was good. And then the last one, and I'd like it noted for historical purposes that this is the third straight week, third straight at least week debrief that I have said a trench squad snacked souls again. Like I think I had like maybe 2 or 3 holds with, and it was the full on like trench, Dooku, Watt, Newt, Django. A Doubtcron that has over 50% potency, because if that squad is landing debuffs, they're screwing with you pretty nicely. So that I think it had 2 holds, and then against Lord Cedric, he barely got out in a one shot and got like a 55 or a 56 against it. So that squad did really well.
That is super impressive. That's fun to hear. It was pretty narrow for me this week. Just today we had only one hold, and that was Saw. Whatever he did on the first go, that did not happen at all because he withdrew and then went back in and killed it for what would have been a 51. Wait a minute. Let's think about it. Would have been a 61, I think, something like that. But to Dagger's point earlier about Qui-Gon, JK, Cam, Kel, and who? Mace. Mace is who I had. I said it with a prod up, Kron, and I gotta tell you, first round, my opponent killed Qui-Gon on the first go, and you can tell because the fight ended with all 4 of the other Jedi just completely tippy-top full. And then you have the next 3 attempts, all 4 of those Jedi are still standing. And then he killed it on the 5th attempt, finally. So you know that leaderless, that those Jedi really aren't that much. But if you're having to just stay there and take beatings from them while they won't go down because of prod up, nice. So let's see. What else was there? I don't think there was a lot of...
And you had no tank with that squad, right? That was...
it was Mace. So
you did have Mace, sorry.
Yeah, Mace was definitely in there. We had the odd double hold from Finn Zori. It still catches people off guard. You just, can't take it lightly. I've all people should know. And then Ray Swallow, RJT, Sortie, and L3. Just a tried and true comp. But he got only L3 and RJT out on the first go. So Ray Swallow, Sortie, that's the hell comp to have to face if you had to pick the worst 3 to keep. So, I don't know, man. That was a good one. Let's see. BKM Paz Grogu got a couple of holds. And Gas Krex got a few holds as well. So, man, the Gas Krex is definitely a good one here to start off the season with. Been enjoying that plenty. All right, those are my winners. Let's pivot here to lessons learned. And then after that, we'll have our little segment on Bane. Let's roll back right around to Dagger. So what are you looking forward to applying here in week 2 based on lessons learned here, slugging it out week 1?
I might have to take up that JML versus DTMG because that might actually be the best trade of resources possible.
Oh, it is definitely that.
Now. Man, it is. It just feels so bad. I'm not trying to brag on it. Don't get me wrong. It's just not having Prot really makes JML feel like.
Yeah, I
worse
mean,
than Starkiller.
That's another
team that I didn't. That's another team I didn't use like at all this week is Starkiller.
Yeah, Starkiller has let me down.
I can't put it on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Can't put it on defense because Tuskens exist.
Mm-hmm.
Or bounty hunters. Right? It's just what am I going to do? Kill Zori? Yeah, or Jawas. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like I can't put it on defense. And on offense, I think I used it versus a Tarful team once. No, I thought about using it, then used bounty hunters instead. Because I wasn't sure if they would live long enough to pull the ship down. Right, and I didn't want to lose the banners. Or bounty hunter was going to be a 65 regardless. But yeah, so my takeaways are basically trying to find uses for teams that there's no reason why they shouldn't be used. Like Sasha said, I used Bad Batch and Bounty Hunters more this week than it feels like the last couple months. And I use Starkiller out of them. Right? So it's like finding uses for Starkiller at least. Because people aren't really placing things that die to Star. Well, DTMG and Saw don't really lose to Starkiller.
Nope.
So, it's that kind of thing, right? It's the teams that you need it to kill, it doesn't kill. Or Seer, it doesn't really kill Seer either. Anyway, I digress. I won't go on and on. But yeah, it's about trying to find a good use for teams that I'm struggling to find uses for. Especially with C moving away from, some of the duty that he's had in the past. Yeah. Someone's going to have to pick up that slack. And that Seer slack that he sometimes has to pick up, I used him versus Ray. I mean, I'll still be able to use him there. right? But it's just trying to find what. Anyways, yeah, it's about finding uses for the teams that I feel like are good enough to just get used and are too good to ride the bench. Either that, or just like go ahead and kill my JML on defense, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Well, how about you, TJ? What did you learn from this week? What are you looking to applying forward?
I think this week starts playing a little more into the strategy game and some of the stuff. Some of the things I seen that still punch up. Watching all of the streamers, DTMG still punches way up.
What have you been seeing people do? Because I was going to cover that.
Shades was getting ate up by it. Malgus, it was killing all sorts of good things.
Okay, I hear that.
Watch the streamers. That's what I'm saying. They were trying things on offense. Zareth was doing some good stuff with it. So it's like I was watching all these different push areas. So if everybody gets comfortable wanting to use JML, well, if they're holding your JML for DTMG and you take it off, they get to punch up on something like Seer. I believe also dies from that. It's just a whole bunch of things because they're gaining turn meter. It's still punching up for you to kill something for that clean 65. So just like Dagger talked about. And one thing to talk about for Dagger for Star Killer, everybody's doing gas cracks right now. Star Killer, easy 65. It just eats it up.
Haven't been seeing on defense.
And that's all I saw all week. So it's funny that you and just for everybody else to understand, Dagger and I aren't like that far apart. We weren't like brackets apart.
I think the three of us are not so far apart.
We're literally sequential. It was bracket. So for Dagger to say,
we were all like one bracket apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Sasha, then Cass, then TJ, then me.
Mm-hmm. I think this is probably the closest the four of us have ever been.
I was above Tass this week. Tass was below my.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. I forgot that Tass was the shitter this week.
That's right. No, but
we are not far off from getting all four.
Yeah,
of us
all of us. No, it likes the question.
That's what I mean. Like we've all been in the top 100, the top 50. These are podium accounts keep messing it up for us, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but to Dagger's point, he didn't see it at all, and we're literally like a bracket apart. I saw it.
Yeah.
Every time was gas cracks without fail, and that was an easy 65. It was like nothing because I needed to use Star Killer somewhere.
I will definitely back pocket that.
Yeah, man.
It's just because what it is. What's funny is for everybody else is because Krex doesn't get the whole 501st. You just keep doing the AOE with Star Killer, and because he got so many buffs, he literally kills himself getting all those buffs, and so he goes away, and then it's just a regular fight, and you're done for a 65. Other things to take away is we'll have to talk about it in the next part, but how far we get to play with the game right now on offense. The defenses, I think, are not fully set right now. I think we're going to be playing with a lot more stuff on what's going to hold or what's not going to hold. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to be seeing some bigger super teams this week. That's what I fully expect to, because, it's week 2, right? We're still basically in initial testing. So we got some data. But I think we're going to see some funky stuff still come about. Those are my big ones for this week.
All right. Those are good. Those are some good tidbits. I appreciate that. Sasha, how about you? What are you looking forward to trying?
I think like one of the big takeaways I had from the week was that people are still cutting through. They're either saving a lot for offense or just so many offensive options. It's hard to find really strong defenses. That it is super precious if you can get a hold, just a single hold. So like to TJ's point, like it makes sense to concentrate on super teams. That was my going back to the Ufu split and Ray. And I knew if I took Ufu Cal away from Seer, that means Seer is not going on offense to her highest potential. Mm-hmm. But if that gives me any kind of shot of a hold with Ray, which it did, I'll take it. And so I think it's a lot of those types of trades of really thinking defense first, what could be a nice gotcha, something subtle in there, and trying to find some of that. That's kind of the big lean in that I would feel I've got right now. And then I will say, with that, sorry, what's that?
No, I was going to say, so overall, you're going for a pretty stock, tough guy, bottom front wall, and then just a variety of what you hope are going to be different traps in the back.
Yeah, just that, and it could be a stock tough guy, bottom front wall, or at least everything there where like I don't want somebody to get out cheap on any bottom front battle. Like they're either going to have to overspend, and obviously if I'm doing that, it's because like I hate the current maps for 5v5 where you only get to hide 3 squads.
Yeah.
That's a huge bummer. But like every one of those 3 should be punishing some potential decision on the front wall, right? I mean, it's kind of standard strategy, but I think it's very much that way right now, where like a single hold turns the tide meaningfully. Like I think that's a big part of it. And then I'll hold the rest of it for the Bane conversation because I think that's gonna be interesting too. But yeah, with that, how about you, Tess?
Yeah. So for my own part, I made a change to Afra that's been something I've just overlooked for a while. Having that protection primary triangle on her allowed me to push some mods around such that she's got almost no added health and just an enormous protection pool. 185% potency, so she'll be all the much more massive. Very little is going to resist what she's about. And thermals will do almost the minimal amount of damage that they can do. So just a mod tuning on a suite of characters. But as far as lessons, yeah, I mean I made a lot of modding tweaks and just took characters more toward their extreme. But as far as like strategic thoughts, so yeah, I've seen a lot of folks holding DTMG, and I have to think about using that more myself. I'll really be paying attention to that. So I'm glad you mentioned some of that, TJ. Those are some of the thoughts. Bo-Katan Mandalore didn't, in only one round produced holds. So I'll think carefully on that. Bam didn't prove to be especially effective this week against anything that I was encountering, so that felt bad. I'll be rethinking about whether or not he's just on defense more with something. Maybe his own team, maybe part of Bo-Katan. It depends on if I feel like I need to kind of go for that kind of cheese, I guess, where it's Bam on defense. Like, you can't take nothing, but it is still just Bam, even if it is the Bam level 9. Let's see. Is there anything else? No. I'm really just eager here to get into our next segment. I'm dying to talk about Darth Bane. Just unlocked him here today, guys. So, we don't have to be super round robin like we do for our other segments here. We can have some open commentary here because we'll get to the wrap up right after this. So I don't want it to take forever, but what do you guys think? What do you guys want to share? I know we've got a lot of schemes here that we're working on for this week, so I know we're not going to share the house, but yeah, give the people some goodness. What do you think?
Dude, where does this thing go that is not going to be awesome? I'm sorry. This is one of the, if not best characters they come out with in such a long time, where it's, what is his floor? What is his ceiling? Like, where does this guy go, and how light can you go where he just deletes? It's even on auto. It's just, oh my god, man! And it was so good. Like, he's Relic 9 for me, and all the Omis. I'm gonna have such a good investment. I don't care. Just so much fun without the stuff. Watching what he does without the Omis, and then getting to see what it's gonna be like. Dude, I'm like, oh, goosebumps.
Yeah, so he got a big promotion. I mean, the word on the street is that there is no GL that can withstand the two of them. Not sure about what all is baked into making that statement true, but yeah, it's going to be a wild week too for that. Anything you guys want to throw in?
Yeah, I just want to say that to everyone that I'm going to fight out there, he's complete dog shit. Don't gear him up. He's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like there's no real reason to gear him up to fight me.
Yep.
He's not gonna do anything for you. Yeah. No. Oh man, it's gonna be fun because we talked in the in between video about me wanting to put offense on the two of them to see what their ceiling is, and yeah, I don't think you need to do that shit.
Not required.
Dude, it's not crazy. Do you even need to put him with C to make this dude still not a monster. That's what's so crazy. Is yes, he with C is like the creme de la creme, but without C, the stuff that's out there and that he's doing, like Nihilist lead, are you kidding me? Or the other good stuff like that, or his
Yeah,
lead
but
with like talent, it's crazy.
we'll have to. We'll have to see more. I'll be paying attention to what comes out on YouTube from the other
I can't
content
wait.
creators.
I can't wait,
the
man.
next couple of days. But you know, I mean, when somebody says that they can pair him up with Savage or with Nihilus lead and you know like Rule of Two with a whole bunch of different Sith leads, I do need to know against what. I mean, I'm not at all surprised to hear that there's some crazy punch-up opportunities with Savage Bane because Savage is already able to like take on B teams by himself, depending on the team. So no way he's not going to be.
You asked for a saw counter, right? So you asked for a saw chase counter, right?
Sure.
What about him and Talon? That's
Him
it.
and Talon alone, the two of them.
This is not in GAC. This is just in Arena.
Yeah.
So the Crom was still active. This dude deleted that team. Like,
dude, that is insane. So actually, that's really cool because he gets to be the lead, and you get to take advantage of Rule of Two. That's actually, really kind of brilliant.
Dude,
I like that,
me?
man.
Dude,
that's
are you
fun.
kidding me? He took out a full on like gas or something like it was something else with Nihilus lead where you couldn't crit and still. Oh no, it was Reva. He took out Reva, full on Reva. Without critting, it still deleted the team. Reva dead.
There's certainly
Gone.
enough Sith teams and Sith leaderships for Bane to just get a lot of different play. So it's going to be fun. I think you hit it right on the head, though. This is the the most, I don't know, widely applicable character. Like the most, like you can just do the most with this character. Like applying it to almost any number of comps. So I'm electrified. I know that there's going to be different conversations about the modding, but I think we all agreed here within the last week or two about a generic starting spec, and it was going to be like health sets. If you had it, like a crazy fast health primary arrow, but otherwise most of us would be rocking a speed arrow, ideally with some strong health primaries on it. It's like percent health you're looking for, flat health you're looking for, a bunch of speed, and then offense to pepper in. And see where you land with that. I took mine straight up. I've got it showing here on screen. His health is like 147k. This is all Relic 9. And these are cracked out mods, everything. This is very, very topped out. Not most folks will not be doing this, will not be able to do this.
Be jealous.
But I did
plebs.
reserve this, and I prepared this for a while. So I am delighted.
Be jealous, you plebs. This is your basic.
But he's a big boy.
Yeah. Basic, yes.
147k health, almost 72,000 prot, 289 speed. I'm hopefully going to get another slice on speed there before it's all said and done. 61% crit chance, so 81 with his unique bonus, so he will be critting decently enough. Just over 10k, like 10,100 physical offense, but most people are trying to kind of land around there without putting any strong emphasis on adding offense. You see that's only 1625 added in total. So it really isn't a tall ask to push him up over 10k. But see where you guys land with that. I'm looking forward to hearing your comments and your feedback on Discord. Wherever you guys like to get a hold of me. It's fun to hear what you guys think. So, let's pivot to... Well, did we have any other things we wanted to say about Bane? I didn't want to cut anybody off.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd add to it, I've not had a chance to play with it too much. Although, literally during this segment, I just dropped it into my squad arena with C against an almost all 9 Jabba with Bauschkron, hit auto, and about halfway through the segment, it had cleared that squad. Like, it is impressive. But it is such an offensive ass kicker that it just drives me back again to, like, turning the whole box of tools completely upside down and shaking it for some defensive options and just saying, like, all right, I may just start throwing everything over there and I'll save a few. Like, we have a lot of get out of jail free cards potentially at our disposal.
Yeah.
So, like, whether it's super teams or trying to stack harder, on D. Man, any hold you can get's precious, particularly when the food chain just added this predator, Apex Predator, in.
Yes, very much agreed. All right. Yes, let's go ahead and turn to final thoughts. So, we've already covered where, our head is for how we're going to apply our lessons learned. Before we part ways and sign off for the good people here, any other tidbits, any other, kernels of wisdom to offer before we, close on out? Let's start with you, Dagger.
Watch your local streamer. They fail, so you don't have to.
And you just bend that low-hanging fruit. You don't have to jump too high to grab it, which I guess is just as well.
No, I just mean see what.
He's right.
Wait and see what they.
He's right. I agree.
Yeah.
He's completely right, of
You
course.
say low-hanging fruit, but it's like.
No, it's not. Not right now. Dagger nailed it. Dagger, you finished, but it's like, no, it's true. What everything Sasha said, everything Dagger is saying, it is like pivotal in this game right now.
Yeah. Got to get that intel. I mean, it's always useful to watch content creators and see what they're trying, especially before you've played your round, see if you can learn something and prevent yourself from a mistake. But in this time where you're seeing, especially up in the upper neighborhood here in Kyber 1, it's really common to see full clears with maybe a drop, and it's still an 1800, 1820 plus score. If there's no drops, 1840 plus score. Like, you're seeing it where a single drop is determinative. So, like what Sasha had said earlier, just trying to be inventive in a way that nets you even just one hold. That's really all it can take. So that's a good one. All right, appreciate you, Dagger. TJ, what's your thought for the people?
I think it's taking everything they just said is where we're at, which is why the game I love. The game I love. Don't get me wrong, but where we're at in the game, I hate, and it's one where banners stolen are big deals. Drops are huge, like parties. You get one. It didn't used to be this way, and that's where we're at. So I said, when watching your streamer, you literally need every piece of intel. If you can come up with an advantageous team, like what Sasha called out with the potency. Oh, you best believe I'll be looking at that. Now that we can do it, because we don't need Saw for C anymore. All of these things are pivotal. So every piece of advice you can get, every little thing where, I stole 3 banners from you, and that's how I got my win. Woohoo! I got to hold. Man, let's go celebrate. We're going out clubbing, because it's like you won the lottery. It's that determines everything in GAC right now, especially because there's only 11 teams to kill.
Yep. Very fair. All right. Appreciate you there. And Sasha, how about it? What's your tidbit for the folks at home?
It's a theme I've touched on previously, but and I don't know that I'll do it this week, but it just feels like the time's ripe for, with the offensive options being so good, to just potentially throw a bunch of GLs on D, more than one would expect, and test the limits of some of these non-GL squads that are so awesome. Like we talked about, what can DTMG do? We've looked at what SAW can do. And just, sometimes if you flip the script just a little bit there, you can make a difference. And I think doing that, particularly with a few, and like TJ's right. I mean, the options are just too thin. It's not as, I'm really enjoying the game, but it's not as healthy from a defensive strategy perspective as it could be. But there are a few of those squads that have limited counter options. Riva's one. I mean, I know this from personal experience, having twice opened up back walls just in the last week and gone, oh, shit, I don't have what I should for that. That if you find some of those squads and then you flip the script and put more on your bottom front wall, you set 4 GLs there and you force people to make some decisions and then leave them uncomfortable in the back. And you do shift some burden onto yourself of using non-GL counters. You may end up with I'll tell you one thing I've done a number of times in Squad Arena, and I don't know how well it translates to GAC, but it's like, take DTMG against Jabba. I've taken DTMG when it doesn't have the no revive cron, against JMK squads. And
Wow.
it's doable. It's, you know, they are not 100%. And sometimes it's ugly, but it's very doable. And the game could be kind of right for that. These are just the extra mile that you kind of got to go to try and get some holds and to juice the strategy of it all up right now.
Okay. Well, yeah, that was a great one. Thanks for sharing. For my own part, you know, before you start scouting out your opponents next week, do an audit of your attacks. You know, look at GG, look at how you attacked last week, and identify who were your inefficient attacks. Because I had a round, my round 2 of this week, where my opponent dropped on my front wall and I didn't drop on his. And then we both finished the front wall and we had the dead ass same score because I bled. And that's, you know, kind of building on what Sasha's saying there. You know, having DTMG and Saw on defense because you know how strong they are and how strong they've been. That's fine, but, you know, you'll have the benefit of actually doing some scouting ahead, looking and seeing how people applied those two particular teams on offense, and really afford yourself some opportunity for shakeup. Not only just for catching your opponents off guard in the way that Sasha was saying, but also using those teams as the opportunity to clean up where you were dropping banners on inefficient attacks, even if they were otherwise one-shots. So really just pay attention to where you dropped banners this week. You got to keep tightening it up because these scores are only going to get higher as the season goes on and people have a tighter dial on what they're doing. All right, guys, I think that about wraps it up here. So, you know, as always, really appreciate the three of you making the time here from your busy, you know, work and family lives to make our show. Love what we do. Let's go ahead and get ready to close out. So yeah, you're seeing this here on YouTube. You'll find the link to a permanent link to my Discord if you want to be in touch. That's the place to do it. Of course, I also have here on this YouTube channel my GAC streams that I upload with chapters added for easy browsing. Also have a Datacron video, and I'll be making more in the future for the upcoming sets, but that was covering set 13. Stay tuned for an upcoming set 14. Again, all on YouTube. You know, all of our fantastic YouTube subscriber base, this video will come out on Friday. And for the loving and generous supporters on Patreon, this video will be available tomorrow. So thank you guys for your continued support. You know, appreciate it a ton, and enjoyed that early access. Last but never least, of course, you can catch me live, twitch.tv/Tassinix. And if you're looking to know when I'm going to go live, that's also something I put out on Discord. So do check that out. All right, let's go ahead and do the Patreon plug and send us off into the sunset. So check out, if you like the cut of our jib here, you know, you want to support what we do, you want to check out patreon.com/Tassinix. You know, there's something there for the upwardly mobile GAC player, whether that's just getting in and enjoying that early access to the YouTube content, you know, being part of the voice chat. We're pretty highly active in that voice chat on a daily basis, so we're always talking shop in there. There's not to mention any of the other Patreon subscription tiers, which include higher access to tiers of bots, you know, Omega Bot and Hotbot, excellent GAC preparation and scouting tools. You know, more and more. I'm building on it more and more. So stay tuned. We do have to thank the patrons themselves. Still actually waiting to get my updated slide here from the missus, so I do have to rattle off the couple folks that have since made adjustments and joining, and I don't have them written up here. So at VIP Access, shout out to Brock Thudsteel and Renee. Really appreciate you guys here, Maw family members, joining the TAS House. Great to have yous. And then, of course, we got to thank White Wolf, Sam Vimes, Jobin4527, Sweens14, Stark Strategy Gamer, Sir Boss upgraded, we'll cover that, Lego Calrissian 2187, Deadpool Cal 28, Johnny B. Ottawa, Darth QP PMG, Ray's Malbus, JJ's Productions Twitch, And Quig also bumped up, so we'll cover him later. VIP Access Plus, Trevor Boy Gaming and Striker, taking advantage of that OmegaBot bundle. So thank you guys so much for your continued support. And the new tier, VIP Access Premium, Quig and Sir Boss stepped up to. That includes both OmegaBot and Hotbot Patreon access. So that's all in one price. You know, you get to support me and get discounted access to those two very fine GSC tools. And of course, here at the top of the heap, you know, a man who truly needs no introduction, it's Nomad's Reaper. This is just, you know, the hype train warrior who just puts all of us on his back and carries us up the mountain. Just in this last week, you know, broke my all-time record for a hype train with a level 18. We had a great bit of, you know, participation and support from everybody in chat, but, you know, Nomads was still carrying the day, so really appreciate it. And, you know, he's been doing that for us for a long time, so really appreciate the long time and continued fantastic support, man. Means a lot. All right, let's go to the special thanks here. Of course, to Yoda Force, one of my original supporters back in the day, got me the mic I'm speaking to you on now, so he's long since left the game, but we remember him fondly. Take care, man. To Mrs. T, my wife, appreciate the mostly timely help on the back end with my slides and stuff, but mostly these days, keeping the little one out of my hair, who would otherwise be tasking me to write her name or write the alphabet or write the numbers in some form of colored pencil, crayon, or marker. This is always fun and an educational experience off stream, but actually quite burdensome during stream. A stream that is already between 3 and 4 hours, so I don't really need any help with making it longer, and I appreciate your aid. It really helps. To Dagger, TJ, and Sasha Isha, once more, you know, my co-hosts here. Love you guys dearly. It's great what we're doing here. I'm very proud of what we're putting out. So, again, just thanks. And, of course, Dagger helps a lot out on my Discord, answers a lot of questions in the community, and helps out on the, you know, behind the scenes. All right, guys, heading back into our scene here. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to locking in here for week 2. Lots of hype for it. Yeah, lots of excitement here with Bane. But until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.